Hello, I'm SMB Collector.
Hi, this is SMB Collector, making my first video for YouTube. Thought I'd start off doing the Devo Gun toy from the Mario Bros. Movie, as you can see from the stick right there.
It's been a long journey, but this is my 100th video on YouTube. Let's celebrate this milestone with a somewhat brief history of my life as a Mario collector, as best as I can remember it. Early in life, I had a tendency to go in and out of different interests all the time, like the fascination I had with apes and monkeys as a child. And combining this with the fact that I had the collecting bug, it was only natural I'd form a handful of small collections. None of them were very serious, but silently forming right under my nose the whole time was an interest that would prove to resonate in a meaningful, justifiable way. Right around the time I was born, my family got the Nintendo Entertainment System, so I grew up playing games like Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Yoshi, Yoshi's Cookie, and NES Open Tournament Golf, all featuring Mario. One of my earliest memories is in the mid to late 90s when I was playing Super Mario Bros. One morning with my brother. We were getting further in the game than we'd ever been before. I don't know if we were even aware of warp zones yet, but either way I remember it feeling like quite the feat to get such distance. We were enjoying every moment of it. Mario was easy to take for granted since he was a household part of life from the beginning, but change was on the horizon, and the first step towards destiny would occur in the most unlikely of places: Taco Bell. My mom happened to take me there for lunch one day during their 1997 Nintendo promotion. With my kids' meal, I got a Mario Kart 64 toy. I even got a Super Mario 64 sticker out of a vending machine there around the same time. The natural-born collector in me was now closer to taking the plunge, but there were still a few pieces missing from the puzzle. For one thing, actually playing the Nintendo 64. This would be remedied on Christmas Day of 1999 when my family received a Nintendo 64. The first batch of games we got were Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Donkey Kong 64, and Pokemon Snap. This was before I had ever been online, since having an internet connection still wasn't quite that common yet, so playing the Nintendo Entertainment System and seeing commercials on TV were about the extent of my knowledge on the progress of video game technology and culture. Going in relatively blind, I was the most eager for Donkey Kong 64 simply because, well, you can take a guess. But after playing Super Mario 64, my life was changed. It contained a sprawling, friendly world full of mesmerizing characters, colors, missions, music, and new advancements. You could move in 3 dimensions, jump into paintings, even just looking around was incredible. The first major thing I remember about it is beating the first boss, Big Babam. I was amazed I could do such a thing. It felt like the biggest success of my life. My older sister had to read me the victory message that popped up afterwards because I still wasn't very proficient at reading yet. Nonetheless, I was excited. Another triumph occurred when I was staying home sick from school one day. Lying on the couch playing Super Mario 64 to pass the time, I managed to unlock the door that led to the first of 3 encounters with Bowser, the main boss of the game. This was something I was never able to accomplish before, so the thrill was strong within me. I gave my best efforts to defeat him, and somehow, even though I was a fumbly little kid, I did it. I ran upstairs and told my mom, and even asked if she'd call the school so we could tell my brother. She said I was probably well enough for school if I was going to be running around like that, so I escaped back downstairs, trying to contain my elation from what felt like a mammoth achievement. Mario was offering me an exhilaration I never knew before, and this was only intensified with Mario Kart 64. My initial encounter with the game had been in my dentist's waiting room, but I was too inexperienced with video games at the time, so I couldn't even figure out how to get the cart to move. Even after my family got the game, we still didn't really understand it very well, and I'll never forget not knowing what those 3 turtle shells rotating around us meant. Maybe it means you're doing bad and they're trying to help you, someone suggested. A decent theory considering the skill we were all playing at. The groundwork had been laid. The Nintendo 64 gave me a solid appreciation for the Mario franchise, and Taco Bell had provided me with Mario merchandise. So with the way my brain operated, it was practically inevitable that I'd soon have my latest obsession, and in turn, something to begin collecting. It would just take one more push, a push that was right around the corner. On a seemingly average day in the year 2000, my mom took me to Toys R Us, but this wouldn't be like any trip before it, for in a life-altering turn of events, I found the now classic Mario Kart 64 action figures. As I recall, my mom bought me the Bowser one, and as we were leaving the parking lot, I got her to go back and buy me Mario too. The pivotal turning point had finally happened. I was now a Super Mario collector. I displayed the action figures on a shelf in my room, along with a broken McDonald's Happy Meal toy of a Goomba that was previously lying around the house, and presumably the Taco Bell stuff too. Over time, I added more and more to the shelf, such as little Mario and Luigi figures a friend gave me, and some drawings of the Mario cast that I traced from a How to Draw Nintendo Hero and Villains book. The culmination of these events led to Mario Madness really hitting me. It got to the point where not only was I collecting him, but I was drawing him, dressing up like him, and even planning for a future similar to his when I grew up. I had it all worked out. My brother and I would change our names to Mario and Luigi, and we'd be plumbers who lived in an apartment with a Komodo dragon named Yoshi. I was just that enthralled by it all. What really boosted my collection to the next level though was a musty, nestled away shop nearby that specialized in toys and collectibles. I think I originally went there to buy Pokemon figures and cards, but soon found that they had an outstanding selection of Mario stuff. They had Mario everything, from trading cards to Pez dispensers and beyond. I became such a regular there that the shopkeeper knew me, and he was always sure to point out the new Mario stuff, even sometimes holding items behind the counter for me. I have no idea where he kept getting such a variety of items in, but it was like an absolute dream. Sometimes I'd see something at the store but pass on buying it since I didn't have much money, and these items would become just as memorable as the stuff I did buy, such as when I skipped on purchasing the Super Mario Bros. Metal tray I saw there. It was gone later, but the art intrigued me so, and it instantly became a legendary item to me. I assumed I'd never see another one, but against all expectations, I coincidentally happened across a low-priced one at a garage sale not long after. And now, even to this day, I won't shut up about this tray and how it's one of my favorite collectibles. The stories from that store could go on forever, but unfortunately their intake of new Mario inventory began dwindling until it pretty much ceased. And nowadays, the store is more or less a thing of the past, having merged with another business in a new location with a different name, but I'll always be thankful for their contribution to my collecting during those golden years. Due in no small part to them, the tiny shelf in my room was outgrown, and thus the collection was moved to the spacier surface of my dresser, eventually expanding to all sorts of other spots around the room. Even though I was prone to jump from obsession to obsession as a child, Mario collecting somehow seemed immune to this. Even when I gained new fixations or lost interest in others, I always had the collection out and displayed and would still be adding new items from time to time. A close call happened sometime around the year 2003 when I began getting into comic books. They were capturing my attention far deeper than most other things had, and seeing as this was only a few years after I started collecting Mario, it seemed likely that my Mario mania was about to become the next of many to fade away. It did face some neglect for those subsequent couple of years, but to be fair, there was hardly a fraction of the Mario stuff available in stores back then compared to now, so that didn't really mean much. But before the end of 2005, I was running out of affordable comic books that I wanted, so it looked like the role for my main interest was going to need filling once more. As fate would have it, that's when I made a life-changing trip onto the internet. I visited a site called the Super Mario Bros. Headquarters, or SMB HQ for short. Within the site was a page jam-packed with all sorts of Mario collectibles, new and old. There was a stunning amount of things I never would have guessed existed, such as a Nintendo ceiling fan, a Mario and Yoshi music center, a puppet cooler, and more. I fell in love with the world of Mario all over again, and decided that my nearly abandoned collection needed a comeback. I grabbed some paper and meticulously wrote down every single item on the site, drawing a few pictures of Mario in the margins as if to expel some of the excitement I had. To say this site was inspirational to me would be an understatement. I'm sure it's even how I settled on the SMB portion of the name SMB Collector. I soon discovered similar websites, such as the Mushroom Kingdom, TR's Rockin', TSR's NES Archive, Nintendo Player, and more. I was revitalized and ready to delve fully into Mario collecting once again. This opened the gates to many more key experiences, like when I left the vacuum of solitary collecting and became a member of the Video Game Memorabilia Museum forums in May 2007. And then, of course, there was when I began creating Mario collecting videos to share on YouTube in September 2009. Other memorable events include when I had a full page about my collection featured in Nintendo Power Magazine Volume 255 in June 2010. And also when the Guinness Book of World Records reached out to me around 2007 as being a potential candidate for holding the record for largest collection of Super Mario memorabilia. Unfortunately, there were the bad times as well, the most devastating of which being when I began suffering from severe depression around 2013. Not even Mario collecting could make me happy anymore. which in itself is a really depressing thought. During its onset, my enthusiasm for the hobby corroded away, and though in time I would regain motivation, it often felt like I was just acting out of compulsion and routine rather than out of an actual desire. This dragged on for many agonizing years, but a light would finally pierce the darkness not a moment too soon. In 2019, I met the one who would become my wonderful girlfriend. Through her, I could start trying to live life again, and my joy in collecting returned. Not only could I start making new Mario memories, but we could. It's times like when we made our monumental trip to another country together so I could buy an entire Mario collection that only could have been possible with her. With all these events and more engraved into my personal history, I am currently a Mario collector, and possibly for the rest of my life. I may not have the imagination and sense of wonder that I had in my youth, but the one thing that growing up still hasn't succeeded in stamping out is my Mario madness.
So yeah, thought that was a neat toy. Thought I'd make a video of it. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Really, thanks for watching.